Hello, futurists. Welcome to my YouTube channel, where I track the acceleration of intelligence that will inevitably help us build a brain. Whether you're a shopper or a marketer, you don't want to miss this video about digital assistants and how they're shaping new consumer habits. The impact of AI and AI digital assistants on the commercial environment will be enormous. Technologies that transform how consumers interact with a marketplace tend to reshape the marketplace's dynamics and the companies that sell into it. In the 1950s, for example, the rise of supermarkets increased the importance of scale and mass media to marketers, resulting in a wave of consolidation among consumer goods companies. For brands and retailers, AI platforms and assistants will change the game, altering the relative power of players in the value chain and the underlying basis of competition. These predictions are based on ongoing research into how technology is redefining customer, brand, and firm relationships. The expected near-term changes that AI platforms should bring to the market are outlined in this video, as well as the implications they have for their marketing strategy. This video is broken up into these three chapters. Chapter 1: Altering the way people shop. Chapter 2: Marketing on platforms. Chapter 3: The imperatives for platforms. Let's dive into it without further ado. Chapter 1: Altering the way people shop. More and more capable digital assistants have been built by Amazon, Google, Baidu, and other tech heavyweights. While none have yet mastered perfection, it is evident that this is their goal, and it will only be a matter of time before they do. Consumers' homes are quickly being invaded by AI assistants. Amazon, for example, is estimated to have sold 25 million Echo smart speakers, which customers use to interact with its AI assistant, Alexa, according to analysts. And that figure is likely to more than quadruple by 2023. Alexa's market penetration appears to be much larger when you include the millions of other devices that can currently host Alexa via iOS or Android applications. Google Assistant is now available on 400 million devices, mostly through Google Home cylinders and Pixel phones. Apple has launched a Siri-enabled HomePod, and Samsung has acquired Viv, an intelligent assistant company founded by Siri's creators, to bolster its Bixby AI assistant platform. Microsoft and Tencent both offer platforms for AI helpers, Cortana and Xiaowei, while virtual assistants Chumenwenwen and Xiao Ice, which can conduct uncannily human conversations and has allegedly 40 million users, are already popular in China. AI assistants will alter how businesses interact with their customers over the next decade as these companies and others compete to become the preferred consumer AI platform. They'll become the major source of information, commodities, and services for people, and marketing will become a contest for their attention. Consumers will use AI companions to help them traverse an ever-increasing quantity of options. Every year, shoppers choose from tens of thousands of product categories, each with dozens or hundreds of alternatives. Even ordinary purchases take time, and non-routine purchases are risky because they involve sorting through the intricacies of competing offers. While shopping for shoes is enjoyable, choosing the appropriate toothbrush from over 200 options is time-consuming. Buying an ill-considered mobile phone plan or insurance coverage may be pricey, just as choosing the unsuitable tennis racket can damage your skills. Consumers will benefit from AI assistants not only in terms of cost and risk reduction, but also in terms of unparalleled ease. They'll guarantee that everyday purchases are delivered to homes without interruption, just as water and electricity are now, and they'll manage the intricacy of more complex purchasing selections by learning consumers' preferences and maximizing whatever trade-offs they're prepared to make. Chapter 2: Marketing on platforms. Experts anticipate that just a few general-purpose AI platforms will remain standing. The majority of customers will only use one, with the assistant integrated into their homes, vehicles, and mobile devices. The assistant will be the consumer's interface with home systems, appliances, and other equipment, and the platform will collect and transmit information. The assistant will also serve as a gateway to an endless supply of products and services. The more a platform is used, the better it learns about its users' habits and preferences, and the better it can answer their demands, resulting in increased satisfaction in a self-reinforcing loop. Marketers' present focus with building an omnichannel consumer experience will disappear as AI platforms transform into a powerful marketing medium, sales and distribution channel, fulfillment and service center, all in one. The concentration of such capabilities into a few platforms will give their owners great power, putting branded items at a disadvantage. Consumer firms who believe today's giant retailers possess too much influence, such as Walmart, will be worried by the potential of AI platforms. Platforms will have a lot of impact over prices and promotions, as well as the consumer relationship itself, as a major or perhaps primary way of communicating with customers and the repository of reams of data about their habits, preferences, and consumption. So will brands matter? Today's brands owe their success to their ability to communicate quality and earn customer loyalty. However, in an age of AI platforms, marketers may discover that consumers' loyalty shifts from trusted brands to a trusted AI assistant. Understanding and meeting people's requirements, ensuring quality, and continually putting customers' interests first will all be improved by AI in many circumstances. In fact, AI assistants are expected to gain consumers' trust and attachment more effectively than any existing marketing tool. As a result, many firms' attention is projected to move away from maintaining direct ties with customers and toward improving their position on AI platforms. In some circumstances, though, it may be smarter for businesses to establish close connections with customers outside of platforms. Companies will be affected by 3 shifts on 3 levels: customer acquisition, satisfaction, and retention. First, customer acquisition. Customer acquisition has gotten more efficient as consumer data is now utilized to develop highly focused marketing. Nonetheless, marketers' goals are far from flawless. Advertisements continue to target customers who aren't excellent prospects, and they don't reach everyone who could be interested in a product. Even when an ad reaches the correct target, consumers' cognitive constraints sometimes dilute its message. People may need to watch the ad several times before it registers, or they may completely forget it. They may recall only the portions of the advertisement that attract them, for example, the jokes, but not the product's name or unique promise. These issues will become less important in the future years as the focus of billions in yearly brand marketing investment shifts from forgetful, misinformed customers to AI platforms that retain every last piece of data. Platforms will examine the data, taking into consideration product price, qualities, historical performance, and reviews, weighted by authenticity and relevance, as well as the preferences and prior behavior of customers. Customer acquisition will become even more of a science, with only one focus, the platform, rather than various channels. Influencing the algorithms of the platforms will be the key to winning in this environment. Understanding the personalized purchase criteria that the AI applies on behalf of each customer will be critical for businesses. Sellers will almost certainly have to pay platforms for access to that data and to be listed on them, similar to how brands today pay brick-and-mortar stores for shelf space. Marketers should also expect to pay more for preferred placements, similar to how hotels compete in Expedia's top-of-the-page auctions or marketers compete in Google's AdWords auctions to show first in searches. Despite Amazon's claims that it has no intentions to introduce advertising to Alexa, CNBC reports that the company is in discussions with a number of consumer goods companies about marketing their items on the platform. According to CNBC, experiments in the works would allow Alexa to offer product recommendations based on a user's prior questions, such as, "How do I clean grass stains?" for example, or previous buying activity. Product placement and suggestions on AI platforms are expected to become a key source of revenue in the future. All of these fees will be for access to the customer in various ways. Companies will simply redistribute what they currently spend on advertising, listing and slotting fees, and retail commissions to the platforms. Brands will tailor their offerings and innovation plans to include AI helpers in their product demonstrations. The thriving ecosystem that today assists businesses in wooing clients, such as ad agencies and media buyers, will have to learn to promote using AI platforms. Marketing services that target platforms will be held to a higher standard of accountability than media purchasers and will be required to demonstrate ties to real customer behavior. Traditional market research may be completely replaced by knowledge about actual customer behavior that advertisers will be able to purchase simply from platforms. Second, customer satisfaction. Loyalty, word of mouth, market share, and profitability are all driven by consumer satisfaction. It's no surprise that marketers are obsessed with tracking it. Imagine a world where getting solid satisfaction data from AI systems is easier than getting it from buyers themselves. A platform helps customers by anticipating their demands at all times. To do so, it must collect detailed data on their purchase habits and product usage, as well as attempt to comprehend their objectives. Do they desire food items that will enhance their health, energy products that will reduce their carbon footprint, and financial products that will raise their long-term returns? Or are their taste, pricing, and short-term performance criteria? Advanced AI systems will go even farther, demonstrating the trade-offs that customers are ready to make. How much more will they pay for a healthier product? How much space in a car would they give up to improve fuel efficiency? AI platforms will also be able to predict whether customers would alter their needs in different situations. For example, whether a dieter will make an exception for dessert when celebrating a special occasion. As a result of this, AI systems will be able to forecast which features, pricing, and performance combination is most desirable to a user at any particular time. In the end, AI assistants may be able to better serve the wants of consumers than themselves. Relatively simple recommendation algorithms are already headed in this direction, recommending books, movies, and music that buyers had no idea they would like. In the marketplace, AI platforms will lead to more efficient sorting and matching. Consumers who like the Four Seasons, for example, are unlikely to be given Trump hotel reservations through their platforms. As a result, marketers will seek to perfect their positioning in ways that platforms will notice. Third, retention. Repeat sales are assumed by marketers to reflect client pleasure and brand loyalty. Many consumers, on the other hand, continue to buy a product not because it satisfies them, but because they are too sluggish or busy to look for alternatives if a brand is operating sufficiently. Simply said, most people have more important things to do than compare laundry detergents. An AI assistant, on the other hand, does not. It can evaluate all brands in any category, whether computers or chewing gum, on a regular basis and propose a new one that will better serve the user. Some customers may want to change things up solely for the sake of variety, and their assistants will be aware of this and may regularly suggest new goods they might enjoy. This ongoing re-evaluation of purchasers will drive dominant brands to defend their positions on a regular basis. It will, however, provide opportunities for rivals. The competition will heat up. Although competitors will have to innovate to retain customers, they will be able to acquire data from platforms that will assist them to discourage customers from leaving brands. If a company is aware that a customer is likely to defect, retention metrics can be calculated in real time to determine if she is worth keeping. If she is, the company may create a tailored offer for her that matches exactly what she requires in order to stay put. If the customer accepts, both the brand and the customer benefit. The brand maintains the business, and the customer receives a better deal. The AI platform sits in the middle, providing value to both parties while also generating cash for itself. Rival brands, for their part, may leverage platform information to gain customers. Startups will choose to use AI assistants to promote themselves. Of course, once a competitor gains a foothold, it will face pressures from the dominant and other competitors. Constantly creating offerings that match a customer's growing requirements will be the key to competitive differentiation, and so retention. This will become as much of a focus of innovation for brands as producing better products. Chapter 3: The imperatives for platforms. Only if customers believe in AI systems will they succeed. Platforms must assure 3 things in order to gain users' trust: accuracy, alignment, and privacy. First, accuracy. The platform algorithms will improve their capacity to gratify customers by continuously understanding each individual's needs and requirements. If a platform can suggest a better option to a trusted brand that the consumer prefers, and the consumer prefers the alternative, the platform will take the place of the brand as the object of her trust. Second, alignment. There is an inherent conflict of interest that platforms must properly handle. On the one hand, they must focus only on satisfying the demands of consumers. If they fail to do so, confidence will be eroded. They will, on the other hand, have commercial agreements with businesses to give preferred locations and customer data. People will lose trust if they believe an assistant is pushing a paying brand that isn't aligned with their requirements. One approach may be for platforms to be more open about their partnerships with businesses, similar to how Google is now when it labels some search results as advertisements. Another option is to provide equal weight to paid and unpaid recommendations. For example, if a customer asks an AI assistant how to remove grass stains, the response may contain both a paying bleach and a statement that generic bleachers can be just as effective. The brand receives a plug, and the assistant proves that it is reliable. Third, privacy. Owners of platforms, as well as marketers, will have to strike a delicate balance between the usage of personal data and AI performance. The platform becomes more accurate as more data is collected, but customers may feel more unprotected. Offering personalized privacy settings, like Facebook does currently, might be a solution here, allowing users discretion over what information they share and how broadly they disclose it. Another, less satisfying option is to argue, as Google does occasionally, that customer data is safeguarded since it is processed by machines without human participation. Consumers have always been prepared to give up personal data and even privacy in return for convenience. Final thoughts. AI assistants will offer much better services, but will also be more invasive than any program now in use, multiplying the trade-offs. All consumer-facing businesses can anticipate AI technologies to drastically disrupt their client connections. As customers' attention changes to AI assistants and the value of consumer data and AI's predictive capacity soars, brands will become less important. Pull marketing will become less significant as push marketing becomes more vital. Consumer goods companies have historically focused on one strategy question: how much more of our product can we sell? This is due to their massive fixed investments in manufacturing and branding, which allow them to maximize economies of scale. AI platforms will bring a totally different opportunity, maximizing the depth of a customer connection by delivering a diverse variety of products. In other words, economies of scope. By asking, what else does this buyer need? Investments in creating trust with customers and their AI advisors will be amortized. Superior marketing strategy will still matter in the AI world. Companies must recruit, please, and keep customers. But what that approach entails is likely to transform dramatically. This wraps up today's video. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit like. And if you want more content like this, subscribe to the channel. Make today a great day. Until next time, keep thinking.